Friday Fun Live. Yay! We have so much to talk about today, but it's going to be focused, laser focused on one project that you see behind me here. But before we get to that, I just wanted to say hey to everybody in the chat. Um, as you can see, I'm back home in Maryland. So good to be back. I'm going to have to go wrap up my car in just a little bit after the broadcast. Well, I guess I have a little while to do that, but we are expecting like 5 to 6 inches of snow this weekend, probably on Sunday. So it'll be kind of nice to be kind of hunkered down with the snowstorm and get out my crochet hook and knitting needles. I've got plenty of work to do. So as long as we don't lose the internet, well, even if we do, as long as we don't lose power, I think I'll be okay. But let me go ahead and say hey to some of you all who've been so patiently waiting. Margita, hello there. Thank you so much. You are our first uh, one in the chat today. Thank you so much for being there so early. And Marie, my friend from Charleston, how you doing, Marie? And Namina from Wilmington, North Carolina. And we have a Crafters Grimoire Sanctuary in the chat. Okay, Denise, I'll call you Denise. That was not easier for me. She says it's a beautiful day in Corpus Christi. How is your weather? The weather here is cold. It's cold. I mean, probably not as cold as some of you all in the chat, but it's cold out here. Which is another reason why if you hear a kind of a rumbling in the background, that's my heat. Usually I turn it off for recording, but I'm just going to leave it on today because it's a little chilly. So thanks for your patience with that. Let's see, we have Jacqueline from Los Angeles. Hey, Jacqueline. And Jan. Hey, Jan. And Wanda Gordon. Excuse me, I've been drinking. I can't quite keep my throat clear here. Wanda says, praying all are safe and healthy. Thank you, Wanda. I hope everybody is. And I just realized I haven't turned on some lights here. Let me go ahead and do that. Hold on a second. I don't know if that's any better. Let's see, is that better? Let me check. Oh well, I still see a glare. Okay, let's see if I can get it out of the picture for you. Let me try one more. Guys, I'm off my game today. I haven't been here in like a month, so I just messed up on a couple things here. Well, let me go ahead and continue saying hey to everybody. We have Roberta in the chat. Thank you for being here, Roberta, and Namina, and Annette from South Carolina. Hey, tell everybody I said hi, y'all. I'll be down there again probably around later February, about the time the new project goes live, or a little bit after that. And we have Sarah, and let's see, Archer Nace is in the chat from Cleveland. Wow, this is waiting for the big storm Sunday. Yes, both of us. Yeah, we're both going to be getting it. Maybe once it hits you guys in Cleveland, maybe there won't be any rain left to turn into snow for us here. I don't know. I don't mind a little bit of snow. It's a lot of fun for this Florida girl. But I am getting older. We have Love to Craft and Yuchi. And let's see, Shelly 2512. And oh my goodness, we got a little, Archer Nace, thank you. We are like $5 out from a song next week, and I have a new song for you guys, but I'm gonna have to work it up. I need at least a week to practice it so that it's not too gosh awful. But I will bring that song to you all next week, whether we get that. But we're close enough to the goal in my mind. $95, so we're close enough to the goal. And whenever we like do $100, just to let everybody know if you're new to the chat, that money. I know that there may be some fees involved. That's something that Google does. It's not me. But whatever the stated donation is, I donate 100%, and I try to do a little bit more if I can, towards a charitable organization, and our two favorites right now are Rancho 3M and Shriners Hospital for Children. I think last month we did Rancho 3M, so this month we'll probably do Shriners Hospital for Children. And these are just places that I know personally. I know there are a lot of great charitable places out there, but these are two that I have kind of a personal relationship with, so I feel really good about donating, if that makes sense to you. So um, anyway, I won't get into all the details there, but if you ever want to learn about these organizations, please let me know. I'll be glad to send you the links. If you wanted to check out the organizations. Rancho 3M, for those of you who don't know, I'll just briefly, because most of you may not know what that is. Everybody pretty much knows what Shriners Hospital for Children is and what they do, and the wonderful people that they've affected for generations. But Rancho 3M is it's an orphanage and a Christian school in one of the poorest towns I've ever seen in my life, in Juarez, Mexico, near Guadalupe. It's kind of a border town, not too far from El Paso, Texas. So spent about a week or more there with one of my daughters many years ago. So it's a real place, and it's a fantastic work, and it's a hard work. So I love being able to support it from my cushy, comfortable home when I can. Oh, thank you, Denise. She says, if anyone suffers from sore throat or cough, try a spoonful of honey in which you have soaked medicinal herbs. I've started doing this with great results. Great. That's great. Yeah, I do like honey and some hot tea every now and then. I may have to do something like that once I get off today. We have Alaskan Mama Bear. Oh, I like that. It says hello from the backwoods. Wow, I bet you guys are cold there if you are from Alaska. Wow, that's fantastic. My daughter and her husband got to go there back in 2021. Had a fantastic time in that beautiful, amazing place. We have Sandy Harvey, Sandra Harper, Tammy from Oregon. Is it Renata from, Norway? If I'm saying that right. And Liz and Wanda, Monica, Annette, Martha. She says, hello, good morning, everyone. It's a beautiful morning in Southern Cal. Oh, I bet it is. It's a great place. And Heather, we have Angie K and Michelle from Kentucky. Wow. And Jan says, keep the snow there. Jan, I'll do what I can. But if anybody wants, seriously, if anybody is in the Gaithersburg, Maryland area and you've never been sledding and you want to come sledding at my house, please let me know. I may have to have you sign a disclaimer that we have a really great sledding hill that my kids absolutely adored. And Hannah can tell you all about that. And by the way, Hannah is in the chat today. She's feeling a little sluggish, a little under the weather, but she'll be fine. So if you don't see a lot of Hannah posts, that's probably why. But she's just there guarding the door, keeping all the stuff out of our chat that we really don't need to be exposed to. So thank you, Hannah, for what you're doing for us there. We have Angela P.A. or Pa and Angela Rios. Well, I got two in a row from Arizona. Melody from Virginia. Rosie King from Lincolnshire. Namina from Wilmington, North Carolina. Let's see, Deanne, MCCZ. She says, hi, I'm from Bavaria. Wow, that's fantastic. That's amazing. We have Sheila from Brooklyn, New York. She says she just joined my watch channel. Sheila, thank you, my friend. And I'll just take a pause there for those of you who don't know what she's talking about, the watch channel. I do have a subscription-based channel, which is a for pay thing. It's $6.95 a month. If you want to check it out, you can look at the watch channel. There's the link in the video description below. And you can browse. You can't watch the videos from there, but you can look through to see what the channel looks like on all the videos. And it's the best of my content that I have here, and it's some additional content as well, content that's not visible on YouTube. There are a lot of patterns that can be downloaded. Not all of them have patterns to be downloaded, but but many of them do, and that's a complimentary service um, that we wanted to provide for those who wanted to have an ad-free, spam-free, um, we don't bug you kind of an environment to do your crafting in. And you know what I'm talking about. And but anyway, if you want to check that out, and if you sign up for the full year, you actually get 12 months for the price of 10, if that makes sense. So it's a little bit, a little bit of a discount if you do that. But I don't push that real hard. I don't advertise that a lot. But those of you who follow me a lot and you enjoy getting the free PDF download, I average about 2 free patterns per month. So in my opinion, if you're buying a lot of patterns PDF, it really does kind of pay for itself. But I can't guarantee. Some months I've released 3 patterns in which you can get the free download, and other months, maybe just 1. So it's like I say, about an average of about 2 patterns released per month. For example, in the month of January, let's see, I think there are going to be 3 for the month of January. Well, thank you. Looks like we just got our $5. Thank you, Angela. She says, starting on your Celtic blanket. I'm on Watch Channel and love it. Just finished the Arrow blanket. Loving your books in New River, Arizona. Cheers. Thank you, Angela. We will be doing a song next week for sure now. You pushed us over the top, so we just round these numbers up because I don't like to get into too much minutia. Although I am living in minutia right now as far as writing goes with this new project that's coming out. Let me just go through a few more people just to make sure I don't miss anybody. We have Deanne, and we have Crochet Me Pink. She says, hi, Bonnie, and all in chat. Fun Friday. Yes, 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 yes. We have Harriet Cutter. Hey, Harriet. So good to see you in the chat. And let's see. It all jumped ahead of me again. I got to find out. Oh, we got a lot of people. I'm really, really behind. Goodness gracious. We have Harriet, and we have Mary from Ohio. I'm going to try to run through some of these quickly. Grace and Sandra. Let me go ahead and pull this over here. Where is this? Okay, I just want to make sure that I don't miss Hannah's text if she texts me anything. Jan says they're having a heat wave, 32 degrees in Illinois. Oh my gosh. Yeah, heat wave. Yeah, uh-huh. I know the feeling though. But once anybody that's lived up north, for those of you Southerners who don't experience this as much, whenever it's been like in the 20s or the teens or lower for like an extended period of time, whenever it hits 32 degrees or just a teeny bit, little teeny bit above, it does feel warm. I mean, it feels like you don't even need a jacket anymore, although you do. But anyway, when you've been so frigid, it does feel like a heat wave. That probably is a heat wave for her area there in Illinois. So we have Kathy Lynn. She says, so happy to be a part of the group that connected with everyone on Fridays. Well, Kathy Lynn, welcome. And let's see, we have Rebecca from Abilene, Texas. And Crochet Me Pink says they still have snow in central Wisconsin. Ooh, I bet you do. Excuse me again. We have Ann Butler. She says, sorry, but I am happy it is not hitting us here in Northwest Indiana and most of India. Yep, I get it. This will be our 3rd round of snow, if you don't count the ice that we had this past week. We have Brenda in the chat. She says, have to leave soon to shovel car out, but checking in. Oh, yeah. What's interesting is my kids in Georgia are expecting some snow. So the South is going to be getting hit with some of this too. So be thinking of them because they're not like up here up north where we have all this snow removal equipment. They have nothing. So if they get hit, they have to stay put, and it can be quite a mess. And I know a lot of times people will kind of make fun of the South, but listen, guys. They don't get the snow. They get that little pink line on the radar, which is ice. And ice is absolutely horrible. I mean, it's not as nice as snow. It's like it's just horrible. And no matter where that ice hits, it takes down power lines. It does all kinds of terrible things. So be thinking of Georgia. And I just really hope they don't have, well, in the South in general, I just really hope that they don't get hit too bad, because it's just rough being right at that line between the rain and the snow. Um, that ice belt can be horrible. Okay, too much negativity here, guys. Sorry. Um, we have Monica says it may or may not hit us here. Oh, we'll have to see. We have Beth in the chat, a new subscriber. Well, Beth, thank you for joining us. Beth, is it Cappy? And Wanda, hey Wanda, Crochet Done My Way with Wanda is here. She's in California. Girl, you get around. She says just chilly enough for a jacket. For those of you who are new to our chat, Wanda is our super crafter friend of mine, sweetheart of a woman, and she drives an 18-wheeler. So you don't want to mess with Wanda. And she knows her stuff, guys. She knows her crochet and is a joy to know. And she gets all over the place from coast to coast, apparently. Be careful, my friend. That is so cool, though. I wish I could travel along with you sometime. Um, we have Annette and let's see, Lady Kadiva, 1970. She says, new here. We had a nice weather for a couple days, then poof, it's cold, and we're getting more snow today. Tomorrow, up to 7 inches more. Eee, yeah, I feel your pain there. We have Red Hooked. Hey, she says, I'm at work, but we'll be listening. Well, thanks, Red Hooked, for your faithfulness of being here. We have Yasmin in the chat, and oh, there's Hannah. I'm finally kind of catching up to Hannah's post. I'm that far behind Hannah. And we have Helena and Jean, Elaine. Let's see, is it Nadima? In Portuguese. Wow, I don't know what she's saying, but I really, really thank you for being here, even though you maybe can't understand what I'm saying. But I hope you're enjoying the Portuguese translations. We are adding Portuguese to our newer uh, releases, so we'll be doing some more of that this week. We have Shelly says, hello everyone. I'm here in the UK, very damp but mild. It'd be so fun to go back there. Um, and let's see, we have Terry and Joanne. Jane Chapman says, good afternoon from windy Massachusetts, expecting 15 to 20 below tonight with the wind chill. Burr. Yeah. No, thank you. No, thank you, Jane. I think I'll stay here in Maryland and stop complaining. We have Joanne from Canada. Wow. I bet it's going to be, I know you guys are cold there. Um, and oh, Wanda Bigelow says, my sister was born with a clubbed foot and spent about a year at Shriners Hospital in Minneapolis. I'm from the Oregon coast. Yes, it's a great organization. My mother-in-law, and she's 92. She going on 93. She had surgery there when she was a child for her polio leg. So and Bobby, who is often in our chat, has also been a patient there, and one of our admins, Esther, has also been a patient at Shriners. So Shriners is a great place. They really really affect and change a lot of people's lives. So we're all for that. We're all for that. And we have Victoria. Let's see, Terry from Texas. Connie from Kansas. And thanks for your prayers, Jacqueline, for Hannah. She'll be fine, but she's just needs to rest up. Yeah, she mentions there in the chat. We have Regine from Paris. Welcome, welcome, bonjour. And we have Terry Cabajal. If I'm saying that right, probably not, but anyway. Jan says it's I'm snowed out. We had 4 inches right after Christmas. Enough for me. Yeah, I missed this snow here because I was in South Carolina for the first 2 snows in Maryland. So this will kind of be a little treat for me. I'll enjoy it for a little while, and then we can go ahead on with spring. If that's okay with you all. um, Although it's fun to wear the crochet stuff. We have Mary, Elaine, Wanda. Thank you, Wanda, for your prayers again. And Alana from Alana, Tennessee. And oh, thank you, Wanda. Wanda Crochet Done My Way says she loves the Watch channel. Well, I just so appreciate your support, Wanda. This just, which reminds me, I can't really, I don't know if I can show this to you here. I don't know if you can see this, but it's not long enough. But anyway, I was able to buy some gear this week, just something simple to add so that I can actually record a little bit better in my studio here. I have kind of two studios, but when I say studio, don't get too impressed. One is the dining room, used to be the dining room, which is where I am now, and one is just a small soft box upstairs. It's on a desk in my bedroom, so it's a lot quieter when I record. But I got one of these extension arms so that I can attach my camera and go down 90 degrees or 180 degrees and show what I'm going to need to show you all. Because for the watch channel, these are not there now, but I am going to begin filming shortly. We begin filming some designing classes. So if you've ever wanted to explore a little bit about how do you make your own design, and I'm going to be teaching these classes live in if everything goes well with the COVID and all. I'm going to be in Colorado in April, and hopefully in New Orleans in July for the CGOA conference. The one in Colorado in April is going to be the Interweave Yarn Fest, and you can look that up. I believe there's a link in the video description, but if not, it's just Interweave Yarn Fest. If you just look that up, 2022, you can get the information there. But I'll be teaching 3 classes there, and I think 4 classes in New Orleans. So, and 2 of them are going to be design specific classes. So if you're a really confident, intermediate crocheter and you want to just get into my head a little bit and learn how I come up with some of these designs, you can sign up for those classes if you're in those areas. But if you're a watch subscriber, these classes will be coming in the future. I'm going to be rolling them out slowly, but they will be coming. There will be 2 that I'm real excited to do for you all. So, it's one of those things, if you can't afford to travel, this is something that you might want to consider. You can sign up for the watch channel and see some of these classes. Well, let me go ahead and pause because I don't want to take too much time. I am so excited. We are rolling out the Grace Throw, and let me try to give you a quickie view of this. You can see, okay, the border, which is 4-post cable. It's going to be kind of hard to see. It's harder to see because it's a darker color, but let me go ahead and just give you an overall view of this. Okay, it's a rectangle. This is the center, and I use 4 colors, and I'll talk to you about that in just a minute. They're different gradients of the same yarn, and I really did enjoy using this yarn. It is just a worsted weight acrylic, and it is, I'll tell you about that in just a second. But let me just talk about the stitches. We have ribbing stitch here, and we have the cable stitch. Many of these stitches you may already know. Low front ridge. Okay, this is the honeycomb, and then we have a series again of these borders with the low front ridge cable, low front ridge, knurl stitches. Sorry guys, I love this stitch. I know this can be a bit of a bear, but if you practice on this, if you want to even just practice on some of these stitches now, if you're not familiar with them, I have all of these in stitch video format on my YouTube channel. So you can just go to Aran Celtic Stitches. There's a listing for right-handed or left-handed, and you can just practice them so that when you get to the throw crochet along, you're not left behind because of frustration. And then the popcorn. The popcorn is becoming very, very popular now again. It's just kind of funny how these things run in cycles. Let me show you a little bit closer. Okay, so the edging is the 4-post cable with the ribbing in between, and then I have the large shell with the picot, and then a little picot in between there. So this is the Grace Throw, and this was really inspired. I wanted to do another one like this, going around in a square, because I enjoyed it so much with the Celtic mandala throw. But with this one, I wanted it to look more like a picture frame. So I don't know if you can see that. it does kind of frame more like a picture frame. And it reminded me really of the season that we've been just kind of stuck in, for a while, since the end of 2019. I know that the uh, the lockdown came in March 2020, but we saw this ramping up before then, and we were, as a family, had been taking precautions before then. My husband works as a scientist in the hospital, so we were kind of, you know, we saw the wave coming. um, which is one reason why we didn't run out of toilet paper because we were the freaks that bought all the toilet paper from Costco before any of this came down, and people were looking at us like, "What's your problem?" And we're like, "We're just stocking up." And we were glad that we did. But let me read you the description and really the inspiration. Um, and this is straight up from the pattern. It says, many of us have felt limitations in so many ways. Yet this promise from Psalm 16, 5 and 6 has helped me to keep my life balanced. And this is straight up from the scriptures. The Lord is my chosen portion and my cup. You hold my lot. The lines have fallen for me in pleasant places. Indeed, I have a beautiful inheritance. So that's kind of what I was, here we go. That's kind of what I was trying to shoot for um, with this particular problem or project, is that, even though, yes, we have been limited, we have been um, not free to do everything we want to do. And so I just wanted to just express kind of the border, especially this part here, the border. It's just, borders and limitations can still be very beautiful. um, I remember, and let me give you an example, and this is from my time raising my children when they were very young. And I used to remember, let's say the flu would hit our home, which was never fun for a mom, especially a mom of five younger children. And my children were um, within a 6-year span of each other. So they were all kind of young at the same time. And it was always a dread, when people would get sick. However, when that happened, it really simplified life in a sense, because, well, what that means is all this list that I had written down, or in my mind, of all these things I had to get done today, you know what? That list is not going to happen. And it always gave me kind of a peace that, well, that is not possible today. This is what the Lord has for me. And this is what I'm going to focus on, and I'm going to enjoy it. And I'm just thinking of when my mom would have to go to the hospital, and I'd have a ton of things to do. But you know what? She became that priority at that moment. And so I knew exactly what I had to do today. And if that meant I didn't have to fix that fancy supper for the family, I didn't have to do all these other things. So, it's a limitation on the one hand, but yet at the same time, what we have to do is crystal clear. I know I'm getting so philosophical on this, but this is kind of what I wanted to kind of express, and yeah, express it through crochet, is even limitation can be beautiful, is the idea. And I believe that just expresses what grace is, just being, content with our parameters. So anyway, I probably went on a little too long about that, but I really did enjoy making this. So let's talk yarn and everything. Okay, so now this project, okay, here we go. I have the information here. Will start, the first of the 3 videos for the crochet along will start February 14th. Valentine's Day, right? Well, I thought about that. I thought, gee, I don't want to get lost on Valentine's Day. But on the other hand, I have enough single people in my life that I love and who are absolutely fabulous, wonderful people, to know, and I've had enough disappointment in my own life to know that Valentine's Day can be kind of a drag. It could be wonderful. It can also be just, we just skip this day on the calendar for once, kind of a day for many people. So I thought, why not give people something to really look forward to, other than what the day is about, if that makes any sense. So I thought, well, what the heck? Let's just go ahead and let's. I was originally going to release it a week earlier, but I decided to push it back one more week to the 14th, so that way it's a memorable date. And if that's kind of a depressing day for you, well, maybe this will counter the depression. You can start working on a brand new project, and I really hope it blesses you all. Well, let me go ahead and talk yarn. But before I do, one more thing. um, I want you to feel free to change up the colors however you like it. I love working with these colors, yes. Um, because I used Cascade Yarns Anthem yarn, this is all the information is actually in the video description below as well. I put all that there. It's the Anthem. It's 100% acrylic. It's 3.5 ounce balls, 186 yards per ball. Um, and I have the numbers listed there in the video description. It's a lot of color numbers and names and everything. So if you want to get exactly what I used, you can. And there's also an email or a text. No, try this again. A link to a yarn store. I believe it's in Chicago that carries all of these colors, and she is willing to put together kits. Don't know the pricing yet. There may be a small discount if you buy them together. I don't know. I don't know the details on that. We're trying to get that worked out with Cascade Yarns. And the reason why is it's not a highly available kind of yarn. I mean, it is just acrylic. So feel free to substitute whatever you would like. But if you are interested in getting a kit with all that you need, um, because it is a lot of skeins, it's like for the number one color, I'll just go ahead and tell you the numbers. It's called white peach. You need 3 of this color. The next color, which is right here, is called peach pink. You need 4 of these. And again, this is all in a video description. The next color, living coral, you need 5 of these. The next color, color number 50, is called poppy seed. You need 6. And for the final border, called maroon, which is color number 4, you need 5 of those. Again, all that is written out in the video description. Now, if you want to substitute yarns, absolutely do that. Also have fun changing up the colors if you'd like. However, one thing I would love to do with this, I would like to remake this in a solid color. I think it would be stunning in one single color. And if you do that, I think you might need maybe 1 or 2 less. I did try to build in a little bit of overage into these numbers so that the person who works just a little bit bigger doesn't get really bummed when they run out of yarn, with 3 stitches to go, kind of a thing. Also, I wanted to let you know that the paint box yarns, which is available from Lovecrafts, the Simply Aran, is currently on sale. And there is a link in the video description below if you want to check out some of the paint box yarns. That is actually probably one of my favorite. It's definitely one of my favorites, if not my favorite, to date. Favorite, what am I trying to say? Acrylic worsted weight yarn. I mean, so far I've had really good experience with that, and I have gone through more than 100 scans, and I think I can count on one hand how many knots I found in all of those balls of yarn. So also, if you want to check out the Brava yarn, you can look in the video description below. And the Brava yarn is available at Knit Picks. That could be an option. I believe their yarn is possibly on sale. I think I saw a sale on it yesterday. I don't know if it's still going on. But you never know. You never know what Michaels or the other big box places are going to come up with. But once again, if you are interested in a kit with these colors, this yarn that I used, check out the link in the video description below for, I think the store is called Yarnify. So if you are in the Chicago area and you have been to Yarnify, you could probably just walk in there and pick up a kit at some point. Right now, though, I think we were going to have to take orders. So she will be, I mean, I'm not, I'm not financially benefiting from any of this. I did have comp yarn, that Cascade Yarn sent me, which was, I'm very thankful for that. But if you want a chance to support a local yarn store and you live in Chicago, or again, if you wanted to just give her business a little bit of a boost, it's a small business. She, I believe, will take orders for to get an idea of how many people would be interested in a kit for these. Okay. All right. Oh, that was a lot. Let me go ahead and get to Hannah's. I think Hannah is sending me some questions. I'm not ignoring you, Hannah. Just had to get all that out because it's a lot of information, and that's the main shtick for today. Anyway, okay. Thank you, Hannah. The person who was in the chat in Portuguese, yes, I am adding Portuguese to the newer videos. Um, if you can, Hannah, if you can tell her if there's a specific video she would like Portuguese translation on, just to let you know, and I can add it to the docket of work that we need to do. Um, okay, Swati would like to know how big the throw is and what kind of yarn you use. Okay, the final size for this is 40, 49 inches wide, 55 inches long. Now, if you wanted to make this bigger and you're comfortable with these stitches and you know what you need to do to kind of make it work, you can always add more rounds, to the honeycomb section. It'd be very easy to add rounds to the popcorn section. It's just the exact number of stitches to the corner and so forth might be just a little bit different. If you're game for, going off, golf off road a little bit on your own, I mean, you could easily, increase these sections. But it's amazing how when you start going around the project on the outside, how much yarn it eats up. I mean, just one round, when you're getting to those final rounds, it's like six or I don't even know the exact stitch count because I have filmed it and I have all the information here. I just have to write it all out. But the numbers get into the, like 700, 800. It's just a lot of stitches when you get to the outside. So, but yeah, definitely experiment with that, and you can make it larger if you'd like. Um, all right, so Crochet Me Pink is wondering how many yards are needed for the Grace throw. Let's go ahead and do the math. Hold on a second. I could give you an estimate, but I'm gonna go ahead and try to be as exact as I can. So that's 16. Um, times 186. Okay, this is a little bit of an overage because built into this number is working with 5 different colors, and you have to have enough of each color, but roughly 4,200 yards, 4,278 yards to be exact, when you multiply 23 skeins of yarn times the yardage in each, which is 186 yards. So I would say 4,000. I'll just round it up to about 4,000 if you're just using a solid color, because that way you can use up every bit of every skein you have, if that makes sense. So yeah, about 4,000, give or take 100 here or there. Okay, and Annette Burke was wondering the weight. It is a worsted weight. It's a number 4. And for you European followers, it's an Aran weight. So yeah, so about 40. We'll just go ahead and say 4,200 just to cover about 44,000 to 4,200 yards for this project. So you have a month. It's 1 month from today that the first video will come out. So you have about a month to get your supplies together, and I really hope this supply chain thing doesn't mess this up. It sure messed up a crochet along we did a couple years ago. Do you remember the colorful cables throw? And I was so excited about that. And then that was right at the beginning of the pandemic, and that's when everything disappeared. So things are better. I am in direct contact with the manufacturer, who's in direct contact with the yarn store in Chicago, who yeah, I'm in touch with them. So as I get any updates and so forth, I will let you know, and I'll try to give you a little bit more information next week if I have it. If I had had more information today, I would have given it to you, but this was up to the last minute on this. So um, let's see. Let me go ahead and get back to the chat. I'm not even sure where I left off. And if I don't get to your comment, please forgive me. I sometimes it's easy to get lost in this, and but I do want to try to be as inclusive as possible here. Um, okay, I don't know if I said hi to Elaine, but I'll do it again if I did. Elaine from Edenton, North Carolina. Wow, and yeah, I remember. Okay, okay. So, oh, Leon says it's a cold and windy day. He greets everybody. Cold and windy day. This on this Isle of Wight. Finished holiday cables throw. Now knitting Aran jumper. Wow, that is so cool. That reminds me, I need to get back to my knit sweater. I have just put that on hold forever, waiting for a particular piece of equipment I needed, and finally got it. And then I kind of lost interest for a while. So, Leanne, you're gonna encourage me to get back to that basket and get that sweater because I'm gonna probably need it, soon. Thank you, Annette, for your kind comment. She says she loves the Watch channel. I'm glad you guys do. I know there is not a ton of like social media kind of stuff there, but I need to just be better about just conversations once in a while. Um, but I really enjoy having that. I just love being able to provide a commercial free environment since everything is pretty I benefit from the commercials, so I can't kick them too hard, but I can also get annoyed just like you. um, and thank you, Kimberly. She says good morning from Seattle, Washington. And I think I read that before. Okay, I'm trying to catch up here. um, and hey, Regine, I saw Regine on there. And oh, Terry Redmond. um, it's good to see you, Terry. Good to see you in the chat. um, what's this? Okay, I'm catching up. I am woefully behind. Uh, and that says, yay for February 14th. Yay. Ah, so far behind. I'm sorry, guys. Okay, Hannah has a question for me. Teresa Moorhead is wondering how many scans of the Aran paint box in solid would they need? Okay, well, let me go ahead and do the math. There is 201. So if we do, let's just round it out. 4,200 divided by 201, which is what the paint box yarn has. Okay, you're talking 21, about 21 balls of that yarn. You might have one or two, you might have one or so left over. Make a pillow out of it if you do, or put it in your stash. But always better, trust me on this, it's always better to have more than to run out. I've done both, and I much prefer to have a little bit of extra in my stash than to run clean out of this stuff. Um, I'm trying to back up to see if there's anything I missed. Denise says the edging looks like Texas fan palm trees if you were to do the trunk part in brown and the shell at the top in green. Hmm, interesting. Cool. Um, oh, Brenda, thank you. Thank goodness. Brenda Mack says just walked out of the diagnostic memo. It's funny, I went for mine yesterday. She says all is fine, and I thank the Lord. That's fantastic, Brenda. That is, yay! So happy for you. Um, so it looks like you guys kind of like this thing. That's good. Um, and I'm just looking back some of the old messages. here. And again, just as a repeat, this will be coming out February 14th on Valentine's Day because I love you guys. We have Tanya in the chat. She says, love, love, love this throw. Excellent for these cold days. Yeah, and this is going to get big and keep you warm as you crochet along. We have Renee here from Maine, just in time for the amazing scripture. Thank you. My pleasure, Renee. That's one that I've held on to for a long time, especially, 20 plus years being a stay-at-home mom, a homeschool mom with my kids. Um, yeah, it was very limiting to say the least, but in a fantastic way. So I love that verse. I mean, limited in a lot of ways, financially and all these other things, because for all those years, I was not bringing in an income for the family, and we are living in an area outside of Washington D.C. where minimally you have to have really two professional incomes to make it to make it comfortably here. And we didn't have that, but by the grace of God, we got through and we got creative. We got creative. We learned to make stuff we never thought we would ever have to make, and we had a ball with it and learned a lot. And by the grace of God, all those skills that we learned all those years, I'll just say, they just, being a YouTuber, they just fit everything. I mean, they just fit into being a YouTuber. So, again, limitations can be fantastic. I mean, not that I'm looking for a whole lot of them now, but make the best of it, and they can really bless you. Jan says, amen, without him I would come unraveled. Absolutely. I still come unraveled sometimes, but it's not as bad. He helps it get better. And Rosemary wants to know, anyone from Nova Scotia here? Wow, that's a long way. I bet you're cold up there, Rosemary. And let's see. Oh wow, Sandra Harper says she's about 30 miles from Palm Springs. So there you go, Swati. Maybe you guys can get together and have a crochet group or something. Wow, Jacqueline's also in Southern Cal. I need to go out there again. Like maybe mid-February would probably be a good time to go. Yeah, a lot of Southern Cal people. And let's see. I'm just looking for new names, y'all. I'm going to have to keep it going. Oh, thank you, Archernace. You are just so generous. Thank you each week. Or just don't feel any pressure to keep this up, but you are so generous towards me and towards others in the charities. Thank you so much. She says, through all the COVID, I've had my crochet. You're challenging me and my brain isn't atrophying. Amen to that. Yeah, that is a danger. I mean, I'm glad. I mean, that's what I gotta do. I gotta keep my hands and my brain busy. Don't know what would happen if I didn't. Kind of scared. We have Corinne. Oh, thank you for your sweet comments. She says, when you give information on a square format, would you please give us every time the number of rows? Thanks in advance. Yes, Corinne, I'm all over that. I really learned a lot from doing the Celtic mandala throw, and I think this one is going to be 10 times better, in my personal opinion. You learn a lot when you do things, and I think my goal and my hope is that each project that I release is better than the next, as far as communicating it effectively. I'm doing the best that I can, and I'm going to have number counts for every side, and how many stitches should you have on the short sides, how many stitches should you have on the long sides of this project, because I know that can be really aggravating. So I am going to do my best to keep as many numbers. I mean, that's what I'm talking about earlier, about getting into the minutia. I mean, there are a lot of numbers on this pattern. The pattern so far, and I've only finished one of the 3 videos in the writing process, and it's already about 7 pages long. So it's going to be long. But the reason it's long is not because it's complicated, but because I am trying to communicate as much of that smaller information that I feel like I would want as well. What size hook do you use for the Grace throw? Good question. Thanks for sending that to me, Hannah. I use 2 hooks. The gauge, or the main hook, is used for most of the project. I used a size I or 9 or 5.50 millimeter. Of course, the popcorn is different. The popcorn always requires one size larger, so I used a size J or 6 or J or 10 in American terms, or 6.00 millimeters. But again, that's what I used. If you crochet very tightly, you might have to bump them up to a larger size. If you're very loosey-goosey on your crochet, you might need a smaller hook. So whatever, I encourage you, whatever it is, especially if you buy a kit of yarn, you're going to want to check your gauge a little more closely on this one, okay? But just a size I and a J is what I used. Um, um, oh, thank you. Is it Nasira? Says hello, and it's pleasure to see you again. Thank you so much. That is so kind of you. And Hannah says that she is French. She speaks French. Wow. Um, oh, I totally forgot. Thank you, Hannah. Someone asked, what's the pattern for the thing you're wearing? Someone is asking about it. Duh. This is the first thing I had on my list. I completely forgot about it. This is, I showed this to you all last week. This is Easy Beginners Wattle Stitch, and it's coming out on Monday. And now, unfortunately, I can't just tell you where to buy this yarn, because this is yarn I had in my stash, and it was all in one ball, just like this. And there was one type of yarn that I didn't like, and I cut that out and knotted it, and just kind of took that section out, and then just kept going with what was there. And so you can use, for this, you can use all kinds of scraps. What I would suggest you do is, if you have, you still have some of this kind of yarn, or anything, the highly texturized, but as different as possible, get it all together and throw it in a bag or a box and get it ready. And I used an oversized hook, a size L or size 11. It's an 8 millimeter, 8.00 millimeter crochet hook. And this, what's fun about this is, well, let me show you another. I do crochet it in this really nice but inexpensive yarn I found. I don't have the ball with me. Did I put it away? Who knows what I did with it? But this was made with some yarn I picked up from Hobby Lobby, and I added a little bling bling. Can you see the? I don't know if you can see the sparklies in this, but I added a little strand of some of the Hobby Lobby's yarn that they have with the sequences to it, to kind of give it a little bit of a sparkle. But let me show you what I love about this project. Okay, this is actually quite warm, and this has kept me warm, even though I said there's a little bit of a chill in the room. This has really been great. You can also, and I did this in church on Sunday. It started to get cold in there, so I just pulled it down over my shoulders as like a little shoulder wrap. Actually, that feels pretty good. Okay. And if you don't like that, you can also pull it up over your head as a hood. I'm just going to leave this on. So this is an easy beginner project. It's just using the wattle stitch. That's it. And just going around and around. And I'm also recommending that when you make this, if you want to make it as a shoulder wrap, what you're going to want to do is take a tape measure and get someone to wrap around you on the outside of your arms, and find out what's the distance. This is, for me, is about 42 inches just around. You might need something larger, maybe something smaller, but if you want it to fit, and also keep in mind, depending on the yarn that you use, there's going to be ease. Okay, what is ease? Okay, this is what I mean by ease. A little bit of stretchability. And one thing, if you're using cotton, you're not going to get as much stretchability, but the ease is what helps it to fit nicely. But this feels really nice, and these come together really fast. You're working with a size L. Do I have my L hook? No, of course not. It's upstairs. But a big L hook that's 8 millimeters around, and I'm really excited. So definitely take a look at that. The pattern will be in the Lovecraft store. Link in the video description of the video once it comes out. The pattern, although many of you are not even going to need a pattern, quite honestly, but excuse me, a lot of people, like patterns. I'm one. But it will be complimentary to my watch subscribers. So definitely, download the PDF there and check it out. So yeah, Monday, it's coming out on Monday. And this is also a great project if you have leftover yarns. Let me show you some yarn. I got this, and I didn't like what I was making with it. I did not like what I was making with it. But I thought, and I just didn't know what to do with it. But I know what I'm gonna do with it now. I'm gonna make another one of these. This is some yarn I got. Look where I got it, guys. I got it when I was in Australia, and I bought this at an alpaca store actually, and it was in the Blue Mountains. I just so want to go back. I want to go everywhere, anywhere but here. Oh, that sounded awful, but I love being home. I really do love my home, but it's nice to get away so that you can appreciate it more sometimes. But anyway, this is some really nice. It's like 89% baby alpaca, 11% polyester, and it's very thick. And I think this would look really, really nice making the wrap. So I may just do that. Oh, it looks soft too. So anyway, and this one, how many yards are in this? Okay, put your glasses on, silly. Showing your age. Or is it pride? Okay, I can't find how many yards, but okay, 200 meters. Oh, okay. So that should be plenty. I've got plenty to make one just in just this color. This is what I was making before. Now I may not be able to rip this out again ever, but anyway, so that is going to be another one. And check your bling bling stuff that you may have. If you have things with sequins, you just hold the two together. Hold that with your regular yarn and just crochet. If you don't have enough for the whole project, just use it on certain colors. There's a lot. I've seen looking at my yarn stash from afar of yarn that I bought a long time ago and kind of gave up on a project. Get those yarns out of your stash and make some of these up. These can be great for Christmas presents next year, for birthday presents or special gifts just throughout the year, especially when it's cooler. And if you wanted to even make this out of like what is this? Like a bamboo or I'm thinking of some cotton yarn that I have over here, some like not Cascade Yarns, Sestari cotton that I used in one of the summer wraps. Yeah, that would work really well with that. So, and use something that you can use in the summer, when you go inside the air conditioning and you just want something over your shoulders because they have the air conditioning set at 45 degrees, and you know what I'm talking about. Well, anyway, I went on and on and on about that. But do feel free when you're making this, when you're doing the first round is the most important. Do please check your gauge. I was getting approximately 1 inch per wattle stitch, and that is the gauge that I used for this. If your wattle stitches are bigger, your piece is going to be bigger. If they are smaller, you're going to need more of them. So don't just stick with the number if you do this project, don't just stick with the number that I started with. If you want it to fit you, spend a little extra time getting that first round correct. And once you get that first round correct, it's smooth sailing from that point on. And I think it'll be one of those things you can just relax to and not have to fret about. So anyhow, wow, where does the time go? All right, I hope that was a great question. So thank you, whoever asked that. Thank you, thank you, thank you. We have, Lourdes from España. Buenos dias, amigo. And let's see, I just want to make sure I'm not missing anybody. Again, if I missed you, I am so sorry. We have Sherry from New Hampshire. Welcome, Sherry. I love New Hampshire. Been there so many times. I can't wait to go again. So, well, you know what? It is almost 1 o'clock. I saw another question here. Laurie Larson wants to know, do I ever do any knitting videos? Yes, ma'am. I have a few on my channel. If you go to my homepage and hit playlist, and then in the playlist, there will be a list of knitting videos. They, I am not as prolific on knitting. I haven't been doing it that long, but I think if you're looking to learn beginning knitting, I do have some of those, and I do have a cloche hat that is not my pattern. It is somebody else's. I had permission to record the tutorial, which reminds me, Lamb Shop Kits has, if you're looking for knitting, lambshopkits.com has yarn, beautiful new hand-dyed yarn. They're dyeing their own yarn now, and they're going to be sending me some. And I'm hoping to have it next week for an unboxing. But I'm really excited about this. It's something new that they're doing. And anyway, they're putting kits together with their newly dyed yarn for that hat that's on my YouTube channel. So if you want to check it out, I do have some knitting. I do continental style knitting because it's very similar to crochet. And any of you all who are just bored to death and you have wanted to learn how to just start knitting, check some of those videos out. It can be your friend. It doesn't have to be. Actually, it's in some ways it's easier than crochet. I'll just say that controversial statement and leave it hanging there. Oh, we have Maria from Thessalonica. Oh my goodness. I was literally this morning just looking at a map with your country because I was reading the book of, or the letter that Paul wrote to Philemon and Philemon. Yes, right, Philemon. Don't think about it too much because you can't say it right then. But anyway, I was reading about that, and he was apparently in Rome. I was looking at the Mediterranean Sea area and looking at the country of Greece because a lot of the letters that Paul wrote were to the churches in Greece, and just I was able to find out where these ancient places are and match it up. But yeah, Thessalonica. Whoa. I'm really hoping to get there at some point. And we did get good news recently that if you are vaccinated, I believe that Israel is allowing people into the country, which may not mean much to you all, but we've been waiting for 2 years to go visit the Holy Land with a special trip. And that just is another green light that it might just happen. And it would include sailing the Mediterranean and possibly going to Thessalonica and places that have biblical significance to Paul's missionary journey. So I know that's too much information to end with, but that is so cool. I'll have to tell my husband. So thank you, Maria. That got me excited. All right, I'm just looking for new folks. I just don't want to miss anybody. Oh, Daisy, I just saw Daisy's post from Silver City, New Mexico. So glad that you could be back with us, Daisy. I'm getting ready to sign off here. Oh, we have Vicki Rains. Oh, thank you, Vicki, for your kind comment. And Dolores. And Despasmita. Oh, she says knitting is fun. It can be. I've experienced the fun kind and the not so fun kind, but same with crochet. I mean, yeah, it can be, as long as you don't have to rip anything out. We have Celestine in the chat from New York. And Joni, she says it's been 3 weeks, still not 100%. Do feel better. Yeah. And Bree, she says, I learned to size my products after sending one out based on a pattern, and it ended up more of a teen size than a woman size. Oh, yeah, that's like a line in my song, my crochet parody song, ripping out is hard to do, forgot my gauge, now this thing fits a big man instead of me, or if it's a Barbie doll. Yeah, I've been there, done that. Yeah, gauge is everything. As much as it's not so fun, but it's not the fun stuff, but it's important stuff. And Nigel says, I've been knitting brioche for a shawl. Is it possible to do with crochet? Yeah, they do have crochet brioche, but I haven't really done a lot of that. I haven't done any of it, actually. But anyway, and will the Grace Throw be on the Watch channel? Absolutely. Thank you for that question, Hannah. Yeah, the Grace Throw will be on the Watch channel with a complimentary pattern. So definitely, and I'm gonna try to get it out a little. I don't know how many days early, but a little bit earlier. I always try to release things a little bit earlier on the Watch channel. Um, if I'm in Maryland, I'm able to do that better than if I'm in South Carolina. So yeah, and okay. Well, let me go ahead. I'm gonna go ahead and have to sign off here because it is getting late, and I want to give Hannah a break, and I'm getting hungry. But as soon as I sang this song in church on this past Sunday, um, I thought, I'm going to read that. I have got to read this because it just so affected me so much, and I hope I can do it. I hope I can read it, guys. But this just spoke to my heart, and I hope it does yours as well. I'm going to try to get through all 4 verses. I may only get through 3, but we'll see. Um, let me look something up here real quick because I like to always know the author of these things, and it's not written down. Okay, this song was written by Matt Boswell and Matt Papa. It's called Christ, the Sure and Steady Anchor. Christ, the sure and steady anchor in the fury of the storm, when the winds of doubt blow through me and my sails have all been torn. In the suffering, in the sorrow, when my sinking hopes are few, I will hold fast to the anchor. It will never be removed. Christ, the sure and steady anchor, while the tempest rages on, when temptation claims the battle and it seems the night has won. Deeper still then goes the anchor, though I justly stand accused, I will hold fast to the anchor. It shall never be removed. Christ, the sure and steady anchor, through the floods of unbelief, hopeless somehow, O my soul now, lift your eyes to Calvary. This my ballast of assurance, see his love forever proved. I will hold fast to the anchor, it will never be removed. Christ, the sure and steady anchor, as we face the wave of death, when these trials give way to glory, as we draw our breath, we will cross that great horizon. Clouds behind and life secure, and the calm will be the better for the storms that we endure. Christ, the shore of our salvation, ever faithful, ever true, we will hold fast to the anchor. It will never be removed. I'm going to go ahead and excuse me, look up the song so that you can hear it with the music. The words are just so powerful as is, but with the music, they just really reach the heart and soul. So I'm gonna look that up, and it'll probably be another YouTube video, and I'll put the link in the video description below should you want to hear that song. But I just want to wish you all a fantastic week, and Lord willing, I will see you here next Friday. God bless. Bye bye.